Part 9. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 81. Moonlight. Street lights. Breeze. The scene is beautiful and dreamy. Li Feixuan was stunned for a moment. Her beautiful eyes fell on Su Yang, as if there was a deer bumping around in her heart. Her beautiful face was red and hot. Over the years, everyone knew that she was young Master Su's fiancée, and only a few boys dared to approach her. But Li Feixuan didn't like those people and thought they were too hypocritical. At first, Li Feixuan had a good impression of young Master Su. At that time, young Master Su was still a handsome young man, as gentle as jade. However, after his mother died 5 years ago, something happened to young Master Su, which turned him into what everyone calls an ignorant and incompetent playboy. Li Feixuan was very angry about this. Every time she heard about the ridiculous things Mr. Su did, she would gnash her teeth in anger. It can be seen that she cares about young Master Su, otherwise she would never have her emotions affected by young Master Su. Although she once liked young Master Su did too many wrong things. Gradually, Li Feixuan began to hate young Master Su. But 2 days ago, she already knew the truth. It turned out that many things that young Master Su did were calculated by others. What's more important is that young Master Su is not a waste. Over the years, he has just kept silent. Therefore, Li Feixuan's good impression of Su Yang has revived, and she even appreciates Su Yang even more. Now, looking at the face in front of her, Li Feixuan's heart beat faster and her love hormones were secreted rapidly. After a moment of pause, she struggled and whispered, "Let me think about it." "You let go first and you pulled my clothes." Only then did Su Yang realize that he had moved too much and had torn half of the clothes off Li Feixuan's shoulders. "What are you afraid of?" Su Yang looked at Li Feixuan and said seriously, "Clothes are for outsiders to see. You are my wife. In front of me, it's okay not to wear clothes. Don't talk nonsense. Who wants to be naked in front of you?" Li Feixuan broke away from Su Yang, stood aside with a blushing face, and said shyly, "If you keep doing this, I will ignore you." "Haha, okay, I won't joke with you anymore." Su Yang smiled. Every time he saw concubine Li showing her shy posture, he would find it particularly interesting. Next, the two walked on the road together for a long time. Li Feixuan felt tired, and the walk ended. Then, Su Yang and Li Feixuan came to the pavilion in the park and sat down to enjoy the night. "Su Yang, it's getting late, I'm going home at this time," Li Feixuan said. Su Yang nodded and was about to offer to send Li Feixuan home. But at this moment, he suddenly noticed a cold gaze, watching him and Li Feixuan secretly. Who is it?" Su Yang frowned slightly and immediately cheered up, alertly watching his surroundings. The strength of the people in the dark is unfathomable, their aura is even more terrifying, and they definitely surpass Hua Jin. Moreover, that person's aura was somewhat familiar, and he definitely recognized it. After pondering for a moment, Su Yang reacted instantly. "Nalanzu. The person hiding in the darkness is the Master, Nalanzu." "Su Yang, what's wrong?" Li Feixuan asked when she saw Su Yang's serious expression. "It's okay, wife, just rest for a while." Su Yang showed a smile and then injected a ray of spiritual energy into Li Feixuan's body. Li Feixuan was about to say something, but before she finished speaking, her head felt dizzy and she quickly fell asleep. This ray of spiritual energy will not do any harm to her. In addition to making her sleep soundly, it can also nourish the body, which is better than tonic. Su Yang first supported Li Feixuan and put her on the bench gently, then said in a deep voice, "Master Nalan, stop hiding and come out." Next moment, suddenly a figure appeared on the scene, with a hunched back and a face full of ravines. It was Nalanzu. At this time, Nalanzu stared at Su Yang and was very surprised, can you detect my existence? He. Su Yang did not respond, but said calmly, Master Nalan, you are following me so late. What do you want to do? Young Master Su, I'm here to ask you something. Nalanzu didn't talk nonsense, his face was as calm as water, and he got straight to the point. Nalan Yi was framed by someone last night. Does it have anything to do with your Su family? Did you notice it so quickly? Su Yang smiled and didn't care, because Nalanzu would know the truth sooner or later. However, Nalan Yi has personally admitted that Country D and Guo Ren will not believe the Nalan family's explanation, so Nalan Ziu knows that Nalan Yi has taken the blame, and it doesn't matter. He still cannot resolve the conflict with these two forces. Contradiction. What frame up, why can't I understand? Su Yang pretended not to know. Haha, young Master Su, I advise you to tell me everything you know and don't force me to take action. Nalanzu threatened in a cold voice, otherwise, you will not be able to bear the consequences. Master Nalan, what do you mean, do you want to attack me? Su Yang said in a neither humble nor arrogant tone, aren't you afraid that my grandpa will know about this? Since I'm here, I must have made plans. Young Master Su, there is no one here. Even if I kill you, I'm afraid no one will know. Nalanzu smiled coldly, with my methods, I won't leave any evidence. Your grandfather will definitely not doubt me. Now, if you tell me everything about last night, I might consider letting you live. I really don't know what happened last night, Su Yang said aggrievedly. Humph, you are still quibbling. You clearly placed the red lotus sword at Nalan Yi's feet on purpose. You must have known about it. Nalanzu said in a deep voice, young Master Su, if you don't tell me, don't blame me for being cruel. The girl next to you is Li Fixuan, the eldest girl of the Li family. I will kill you first and then him. No one will know that I did it. Su Yang understood. This old bastard began to doubt himself, so his eyes turned cold. Now that the matter has come to this, he has nothing to pretend about, and said in an indifferent tone, Nalanzu, if you want to kill me, it depends on whether you have the ability. Buzz. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Yang exuded a terrifying force that instantly swept the entire place. You are an ancient warrior. Nalanzu was shocked. He looked at Su Yang intently and said in shock, this aura is at least that of a half-step master. Young Master Su, I didn't realize that you were hiding so deeply. Even I was fooled. Stop talking nonsense and let's do it. Su Yang did not hesitate. He was about to test whether his strength could compete with the martial arts master. Therefore, Su Yang gathered the water polo and took the lead in launching the attack. The true energy transforms the 5 elements, you are so skilled, you are a master. Nalanzu was shocked, and hurriedly resisted, shattering the water ball, and then murmured, no, your true energy is not as strong as the master, and you are obviously not a real master, but you can move the true energy freely. Su Yang, what realm are you in? Spiritual energy is much stronger than true energy. But now, Su Yang has just set foot on cultivating immortality, and is only on the 2nd level of Qi training. But Nalanzu had been practicing for decades and was well known in the ancient martial arts world. He was a martial arts master. Although Su Yang cannot fight Nalanzu with his spiritual energy now, this does not mean that his spiritual energy is weak. One has just started, and the other has been practicing for decades. There is no comparison at all. Now, hearing Nalanzu's question, Su Yang did not explain, but rushed over. Seeing this, Nalanzu was not willing to be outdone and took the initiative to greet him. In this way, the two fought for 5 or 6 minutes. In the end, Su Yang was defeated and was knocked back by Nalanzu's palm. Sure enough, I still can't compete with the martial arts master. Su Yang steadied his steps, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, then hugged Li Fixuan and quickly disappeared into the night. Now, he wants to find a place to refine the evil spirit in his body as soon as possible. When the time comes, he is confident that he can definitely kill Nalanzu. This child must not be kept, otherwise there will be endless troubles. Nalanzu stared at Su Yang's back with a terrifyingly gloomy face, and quickly chased after him. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 82. Tonight, Nalanzu was shocked. He really didn't expect that the playboy Su Yang could hide his strength and be so strong. The Su family already has a heroine Su. If young Master Su grows up again, in the next 100 years, all of Jiangbei will belong to the Su family, and the Nalan family will be suppressed and unable to hold their head high. Of course, the most important thing is that Nalanzu has shown murderous intention towards Su Yang. If Su Yang is not completely eliminated, Su Qianqian will probably kill Nalan's family tonight without waiting. Thinking of the white-haired Su Qianqian, Nalanzu couldn't help but shiver. Although they were both martial arts masters, he was afraid of Su Qianqian from the bottom of his heart, otherwise he would not have allowed the Su family to become the largest family in Jiangbei. In short, no matter what tonight, Nalanzu will kill Su Yang to avoid future troubles. In the dark night, Su Yang held the sleeping Li Feixuan and tossed and turned, not too slowly. Nalanzu was chasing after him. Depending on the situation, he might not be able to catch up with Su Yang for a while. At first, Nalanzu was a little panicked, fearing that Su Yang would run into the Su family manor and that he would no longer be able to chase him. Su Yang simply did not run in the direction of the manor, but in the direction of Dongshan, which made Nalanzu sneer again and again. Haha, Su Yang, are you in a panic and choosing a way out? The corners of Nalanzu's mouth raised, his eyes filled with murderous intent, and he kept chasing Su Yang. About 10 minutes later, Su Yang plunged into the woods of Dongshan and disappeared from Nalanzu's eyes. Seeing this, Nalanzu frowned slightly and looked around carefully, but could not find Su Yang's aura. Su Yang, don't think that I can't find you if you have the cover of the woods. Nalanzu sneered, then jumped a few times and arrived halfway up the east mountain. Here, he looked down at the woods from a high position and could see the entire forest. Of course, because the woods were too dense, Nalanzu couldn't see the scene in the woods, but once he left the shelter of the woods, he could spot Su Yang immediately. Su Yang, don't you know how to endure it? I want to see how long you can endure it. With this thought in his mind, Nalanzu sat cross-legged on the mountainside, holding the moon in his hands and entered the state of practice. However, he did not relax his vigilance. Once Su Yang left the woods, he would definitely notice him. At the same time, Su Yang hugged Li Feixuan and hid in a cave deep in the woods. This cave is deep and dark, and the red lotus sword was dug out from here last night. Nalanzu, it's best if you don't leave. Give me 1 day. If you want to leave then, you won't be able to leave. Su Yang could naturally sense Nalanzu's presence, and a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Immediately, he gently put down Li Feixuan, and released a stream of spiritual energy to form a warm transparent cover, so that Li Feixuan could sleep peacefully without fear of being frozen by the cold air. After settling Li Feixuan, Su Yang sat cross-legged and entered a state of cultivation. Buzz. The 9 nether prison suppression technique began to circulate in Su Yang's body. Week after week, week after week, the evil energy in his body was transformed into spiritual energy bit by bit. At this moment, the Li family in Jiangbei is in chaos. Li Chunfeng, the old man of the Li family, has a childlike face and fair hair, and wears a long robe, just like a Taoist priest cultivating immortality in the TV series. Li Chunfeng, who was supposed to be calm, is now extremely anxious. How could the good concubine Xian go missing? She can't even get through on the phone. This is so abnormal. Li Chunfeng gritted his teeth and said, where was she last seen and who was she with? A middle-aged man with a beard next to him said, Father, I asked about it, and Kikai said that Fixuan and young Master Su went out to pave the road together. Pressing the road, Li Chunfeng frowned and said, "What do you mean? Just a walk?" Middle-aged Hu Jia continued, "Originally Kikai had dinner with them, but after dinner, young Master Su proposed to take Fei Xian for a walk, and then the two of them left. Now Fei Xian's phone cannot be reached, and the people around the surveillance cameras are also broken and we can't find out where the two of them went. The surveillance was destroyed by Nalanzu. He was worried that his whereabouts would be exposed, so he used his true energy to destroy all the surveillance wherever he passed." Young Master Su. When Li Chunfeng heard this, he gritted his teeth and said, "Why does Fei Xian want to walk on the road with him, this infamous bitch? Kuawu, check it out for me. Send the experts from the Li family away immediately. We must find out where they are. Fixuan is my most beloved granddaughter. I have long wanted to cancel this bullshit engagement. Young Master Su, that piece of rubbish, lost Fixuan in the last dog fight. If I hadn't taken into account my friendship with Sukinkan, I would have killed him that day." Li Chunfeng said angrily, "It's good now. This piece of trash actually took Fei Xian out alone and deliberately destroyed the camera. He obviously had ulterior motives. If the concubine announces an accident, I will kill him even if I break up with the Su family." "Yes." Li Kuo gritted his teeth and agreed, then went down to make arrangements. He had no sons, only 2 daughters, who were afraid of melting when they were held in his mouth, and afraid of falling out when held in his hands. Now that he learned that the notorious young Master Su had taken away his daughter, he was naturally furious and secretly swore that when he found young Master Su, he would torture her severely. "Humph, the Su family has raised a scumbag. This matter has nothing to do with Sukinkan. I will go find that old man and talk to him." After Li Kuo left, Li Chun lost his temper and went directly to the Su family manor, roaring at the top of his lungs. "Sukinkan, give me back my granddaughter." This voice alarmed everyone in the manor. "Master Li, you are here. Please come inside." Su Shenbing led people out to greet him. On the bright side of Jiangbei, there are 2 great masters, Sukinkan and Nalanziu, with white hair and short hair. But privately, these 2 are not the only masters in Jiangbei. The Li family is one of the 4 major families, so it naturally has a lot of background, and Li Chunfeng is the Li family's strongest backer. Li Chunfeng is good at using swords, but no one knows what kind of sword he uses. There is a saying in the Jiangbei master circle, anyone who has seen Li Chunfeng use a sword, except for a few, is already dead. To put it simply, Li Chunfeng's strength is not weaker than that of Sukinkan and Nalanzu, but he likes to keep a low profile, so many people don't know his legend. Over time, the 3 words Li Chunfeng have been forgotten by the world. But Su Shenbing knew how powerful Li Chunfeng was, so he didn't dare to neglect him. "Get away." Li Chunfeng only glanced at Su Shenbing, then said in a deep voice, "Let Sukinkan come out to see me." Su Shenbing laughed twice, not knowing what to do. At this moment, Sukinkan with short hair and white hair appeared and said angrily, "Li Chunfeng, why are you so angry?" Snort. Li Chunfeng looked at Sukinkan and said coldly, "Sukinkan, my granddaughter is missing, please return her to me." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 83. Are you suffering from Alzheimer's disease? If you look for your granddaughter after she is lost, what does it have to do with our Su family? Sukinkan frowned. It doesn't matter. My eldest granddaughter was abducted by your good grandson. If you don't give me an explanation today, I will never be done with you, Li Chunfeng said angrily. My grandson? Are you saying that Su Yang took Fei Xian away? That's right. There's nothing to worry about. The 2 of them are engaged. Isn't it normal to stay in a room together at night without going home? Sukyankin said calmly. Shut up, Sukyankin, who is your grandson? He has been doing all sorts of things in the past few years, and he is a man of wealth and wealth. How can he be worthy of my concubine Xian? Speaking of Su Yang, Li Chunfeng looked disdainful and said coldly, I have wanted to cancel the engagement for a long time, but I just didn't find a suitable opportunity. Damn it, Li Chunfeng, you bitch, how dare you despise my grandson? Sukyankin was angry. Although he knows what kind of virtue Su Yang is and often despises Su Yang is his grandson and he can look down on him, but others can't. Therefore, without saying anything, Sukyankin rushed forward and wanted to fuck Li Chunfeng. Humph, you're welcome, let me see how much you have improved over the years and whether you are worthy of the title of the best master in Jiangbei. Li Chunfeng did not show any weakness, and his whole body's true energy surged to meet Sukyankin. Next, the two of them started to fight, and the surrounding qi was raging, making the scene very majestic. Father, Mr. Li, you fight slowly. I'm going to prepare supper. Remember to come over and have something to eat when you're tired. Seeing this, Su Shenbing smiled softly, and then led the people back to the manor. He has become accustomed to it. Apparently Sukyankin and Li Chunfeng often do this. The two fought for more than 100 rounds, and they stopped only when they were exhausted. The friendship between Sukyankin and Li Chunfeng did not happen overnight. The two of them were comrades in arms when they were young. They both came out of the mountains of corpses and seas of blood. It is not an exaggeration to say that they are close friends of life and death. In addition, the two of them had very bad tempers and would fight if they disagreed, so they fought every now and then in the past few years. However, in recent years, Sukyankin's injuries had worsened, so he practiced in seclusion and reduced his discussions with Li Chunfeng. Usually, the two of them had to fight before they could sit down and chat calmly, and tonight was no exception. At this moment, Li Chunfeng was eating his midnight snack and repeated the matter again. This matter is a little weird. That loser Su Yang has no thoughts and will not destroy the surveillance. Sukyankin thought carefully and gradually had a bad guess in his mind. He frowned and said, someone has tried to kill Su Yang recently. He has set up traps several times. Could it be that person who has taken action again? Su Shenbing next to him then said, I sent Guo Yi to secretly protect Su Yang, but this morning Su Yang followed Guo Ren to Nalan's house. Guo Yi felt that the Guo Ren instructor was there, so he did not continue to follow and protect him, so Su Yang I can't find out where exactly Yang went. Disperse all the secret guards. Even if we dig 3 feet into the ground in Jiangbei, we still have to find Su Yang and my grandson's wife, Sukyankin ordered. Yes. Su Shenbing agreed and immediately left the restaurant. Sukyankin, please be careful what you say. What about your grandson-in-law? I wasn't joking with you just now. Our Li family is going to break off the engagement, Li Chunfeng gritted his teeth and said. Brother Li, why don't you break off the engagement properly? In fact, my grandson is quite good. He has many advantages, such as. Sukyankin stopped talking, because after thinking for a long time, he didn't know what Su Yang's advantages were, so he said, for example, my grandson has a nose, eyes, arms, and legs, so he is not disabled. Is this really an advantage? Li Chunfeng's face darkened, and he said resolutely, Sukyankin, today you are telling me that this engagement must be cancelled. There is no second possibility. Brother Li, what's a late-night snack without wine? I have several jars of century-old National Cellar stored in my house, how about a couple of bites? Sukyankin changed the subject. Kuajiao. It's still 100 years old. Li Chunfeng swallowed 2 mouthfuls of saliva immediately, and the wine bug was instantly hooked. You guy, don't you regard the century-old National Cellar as a treasure? Why are you willing to take it out today? Brother Li, Aren't you here? We are in-laws, so of course we have to share good things with our in-laws. Sukyankin asked with a smile, isn't that right, in-laws? Yes, yes, my concubine is going to marry Su Yang. Of course we are in-laws. Brother Su, please take out the century-old national seller, Li Chunfeng urged, having already forgotten his attitude just now. Okay, wait, I'll stay drunk with you tonight. As for concubine Xian, don't worry. With Su Yang's protection, nothing will happen. Sukyankin smiled and said, he knew that Li Chunfeng's biggest hobby was drinking, and he could control Li Chunfeng in just a few words. Well, that kid Su Yang has been smart since he was a child. I feel at ease with him. So, brother Su, where's the wine? Li Chunfeng said impatiently. Sukyankin smiled and stopped worrying about Li Chunfeng. He had someone send him a treasure jar of a century-old national cellar, which weighed 10 kilograms. Immediately afterwards, Sukyankin arranged for a few people to drink with Li Chunfeng. He didn't drink too much and quit the drinking venue midway. Father. Su Shenbing was waiting outside. When he saw Sukyankin, he couldn't help but ask, Su Yang has disappeared, and something may have happened to him. Why do you still have the heart to drink? What the hell is missing? That guy probably coveted Li Feixuan's beauty and led Li Feixuan to a room. Sukyankin was not worried at all and continued, in Jiangbei, there are almost no people who dare to take action against Su Yang. The person who set up a trap to kill Su Yang is just the white-eyed wolf Su Jinghan. Now that Su Jinghan has left Jiangbei and is missing, who in the entire Jiangbei will attack Su Yang? Sukyankin continued, the reason why I said that just now was just to appease Li Chunfeng. The last thing that guy wants is to see his cabbages being eaten by pigs. However, he should have guessed it. He was just angry, so he came to the Su family to find trouble. Sukyankin smiled and said, but he is willing to stay and drink, so he must have accepted it. Shenbing, go have a few drinks with him and get him down. This old boy dares to come to Su's house and cause trouble. He must be allowed to come in vertically and leave horizontally. Finally, Sukyankin did not forget to remind him, by the way, when he drinks too much, replace the century-old national cellar with ordinary wine. Don't waste my good wine. I will keep this wine for my good brother Su Xiantian to drink woolen cloth. Yes. Su Shenbing agreed and asked instead, Father, what kind of wine would be more suitable? Just a few dollars a pound of loose wine will do. If you have alcohol at home, you can mix it up with it. In short, the more uncomfortable it is for him to wake up the next day, the better. Let's see if he dares to come to Su's house to act wild next time, Sukyankin said seriously. That's, okay. Su Shenbing didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but he still followed Sukyankin's arrangement. Time flew by so fast, and before I knew it, it was already the second night. At this time, Su Yang finally refined all the evil energy in his body, and his realm reached a higher level. I have finally reached the third level of Qi training. Now I am confident that Nalanzu is definitely no match for me. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 84. 3 Levels of Qi Training. At this level, the spiritual energy in Su Yang's body has made a qualitative leap. The water ball technique can also evolve into a water blade, and its power is incomparable. Su Yang had fought against Nalanzu before and knew that the opponent's strength was at most 20 to 30% stronger than his own. But now, Su Yang's combat power has more than doubled, and he can easily defeat Nalanzu. Nalanzu, this old bastard, still refuses to leave. It seems he has a strong intention to kill me. But it's a pity that I now have the strength to kill him. Feeling that Nalanzu was still there, Su Yang showed a smile, turned to look at Li Feixuan next to him, and smiled softly. Time flies so fast when you practice, and 24 hours have passed before you know it. Fortunately, it's ahead of time I injected spiritual energy into my wife, otherwise her body might not be able to bear it. Counting the time, my wife will wake up soon, and Nalanzu is still outside. I want to make a quick decision. With this thought in his mind, Su Yang stood up, the smile on his face gradually faded away, replaced by a cold look. Subsequently, he strode out of the cave, appeared majestically in the woods, and shouted loudly, "Nalanzu, come out and die." Salsa. Immediately afterwards, the sound of feet stepping on branches came from all around, and the next moment Nalanzu appeared in front of Su Yang. "Haha, Su Yang, you couldn't help but show up in the end." Nalanzu smiled softly, with murderous intent in his eyes. "Nalanzu, I have to say that your sense of smell is very keen, and you actually guessed that what happened that night was related to me." Su Yang looked at Nalanzu and said with a playful smile, "However, the more you know, the more dangerous it becomes. You won't be able to get out of this forest tonight no matter what." "Haha, what an arrogant junior." When Nalanzu heard this, he sneered again and again, "Su Yang, I admit that your strength is not weak, but there is still a gap compared to me. How dare you speak arrogant words in front of me? We didn't fight last night. Do you think you are my opponent?" Nalanzu continued, "It is no exaggeration to say that you can't go through 30 rounds in my hands, but I am very curious about who you learned your strength from, and how you framed Nalanzu the night before yesterday." Lan Yi. Hearing this, Su Yang smiled softly and said, "Haha, Nalanzu, seeing that you are about to become a dead person, I can answer your second question." With that said, Su Yang used the disguise technique and instantly transformed into Nalan Yi by raising his hand. "Nalanzu, do you know what's going on now?" Su Yang said in Nalan Yi's voice. "You know the art of disguise." After a brief shock, Nalanzu was relieved and said with understanding, "Now the matter is clear. It must be you who disguised yourself as Nalan Yi, killed the masters of Country D, said those patriotic words, and then came back from Zhongchen Yang. He took the red lotus sword away from his hand and deliberately caused a conflict between our Nalan family and these two forces. Su Yang, I had some guesses about these things, but I thought they were done by the masters of your Su family. I didn't expect that it was you who did these things. It surprised me so much." Nalanzu stared at Su Yang and said in a deep voice, "Not only are you powerful, but you are also scheming and forbearing. You are so good that I cannot keep you. Now, you can die." After the words fell, Nalanzu didn't hesitate at all, and immediately killed Su Yang. "The damn person is you." The corner of Su Yang's mouth raised, and he immediately used his spiritual energy to greet him. Although Su Yang had just stepped onto the third level of Qi training, he was just starting out on the road to immortality. But because of the different systems of cultivating immortals and ancient martial arts, spiritual energy completely overwhelms true energy. Therefore, even the ancient martial arts master cannot compare with the current Su Yang. After just a few rounds of fighting, Nalanzu was at a disadvantage and was extremely shocked. "This is impossible. He was not my opponent last night. He was defeated by me step by step. It has only been 1 day and 1 night. How come his strength has improved so fast?" The more Nalanzu fought, the more frightened he became. Gradually, he even began to think about retreating, and jumped up to escape from the woods. "I want to leave now, it's too late, give it to me, stay." Su Yang's face was as dark as water, and he kneaded the formula with his fingers, and spiritual energy quickly condensed on his fingertips. In an instant, a water blade formed by spiritual energy jumped at Su Yang's fingertips, and the next moment the water blade shot out. The water blade cut through the void at a speed that was invisible to the naked eye. In almost the blink of an eye, it had already cut Nalanzu's throat. Puff! Nalanzu fell heavily to the ground, and blood spurted out from his arteries, dyeing the dark night sky red. "You, what a terrifying method, ugh!" Nalanzu tried to cover his neck, but unfortunately his throat had been severed, which was of no avail. Before he could finish speaking, he completely lost his life, and only his heart was still beating. A master, nothing more than that. Su Yang looked indifferent, glanced at Nalanzu's body, and then walked over to search him. This was a habit he had developed in the immortal realm. After killing his opponent, he would subconsciously touch the opponent's body to see if there was anything he could use. But Nalanzu let him down. He didn't have anything valuable on him, only a mobile phone, and it was a senior phone. In what age are you still using such a broken mobile phone? It's really rubbish. There is no password for the elderly machine and it can be opened easily. Su Yang picked it up and played with it. Soon, Su Yang discovered that Nalanzu liked to send text messages. Many things were notified to Nalan Mingj and Nalan Yi in the form of text messages. He even used text messages to communicate with Country D. It turns out that the Nalan family is cooperating with Country D. This old bastard actually surrendered to the enemy and treason. It would be a shame to die. After Su Yang saw the text message, he kicked Nalanzu's body, then a playful smile appeared on his lips, and an idea came to his mind that he could use his mobile phone to make a fuss. Next, Su Yang used Nalanzu's mobile phone to edit a text message and sent it to Lu Fankin in Country D. The content is, Lu Fankin, our Nalan family will cut off contact with you from now on. If you want to kill me, just come. I will be waiting for you at any time. By the way, I want to inform you that from now on, the Nalan family will swear allegiance to China. If you want to get involved in China, the territory of China, I, the good son of the Nalan family, will fight with you till death. Even if I shed my last drop of blood, I will defend the territory of China. After the text message was sent, Su Yang quickly deleted it so that there was no record in the elderly phone, but Lu Fankin could receive the text message. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang found Nalan Yi's mobile phone number, edited a text message and sent it. Content: I have been targeted by masters from Country D and I am on the run now. If I die, it will definitely be caused by Lu Fankin from Country D. You are my grandpa's best grandson. You must avenge me. After sending this text message, Su Yang did not delete it, but wiped off his fingerprints and put it in Nalanzu's arms. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 85. Okay, now we have another good show. After doing all this, Su Yang smiled softly, very satisfied with his masterpiece. Nalan Yi, why are you here? Did you kidnap me here? What did you do to me? At this time, Li Feixuan woke up, walked out of the cave and saw Su Yang, who was disguised as Nalan Yi. Her face suddenly changed, and she gritted her teeth and said. As both descendants of a large family in Jiangbei, Li Feixuan naturally knew Nalan Yi, and at this moment she felt angry and panicked. Seeing this, Su Yang couldn't help but find it funny, so he planned to tease Li Feixuan, so he slowly approached and said with a playful smile, "Haha, Li Feixuan, in the barren mountains and ridges, a man and a woman alone, what do you think I am? Whatever you have done, of course you have done everything you can do, come on, let's continue, I haven't had enough yet. You are shameless." Li Feixuan's eyes instantly turned red, filled with despair. She backed away and said, "Nalan Yi, get out of here, my grandfather will not let you go." "Hey, don't worry. I will imprison you here and be my slave. I won't let you go out. No one will find out. After 10 or 8 years, you give me a few children and I will take you out again. Your grandfather will definitely be reluctant to kill me when the time comes, after all, I am his grandson's biological father." Nalan Yi had a ferocious smile on his face, and after coming to Li Feixuan's side, he gradually stretched out his devil's claws. "Ah, you are mean." Li Feixuan was so frightened that she cried, her emotions collapsed, and she squatted on the ground and sobbed helplessly. Cough. Su Yang realized that the joke was too big, so he quickly restored his appearance, and then comforted him, "Honey, don't cry, it's me. Su Yang." Li Feixuan looked up and saw Nalan Yi in front of her. The person standing in front of her was really Su Yang. In an instant, Li Feixuan stood up and threw herself into Su Yang's arms, hugging Su Yang tightly as if grasping a life-saving straw. "Okay, wife, don't be afraid. In fact, I brought you here, and I pretended to be Nalan Yi. I shouldn't have teased you or scared you." Su Yang gently touched Li Feixuan's head. And comforted. After half a minute, Li Feixuan stopped sobbing, her beautiful eyes fell on Su Yang, and she gritted her teeth and said, "Su Yang, you are so boring, why are you making such a joke?" Su Yang did indeed make a mistake, so he smiled and said, "It's all my fault, don't be angry." Li Feixuan rolled her eyes at Su Yang angrily, and then asked, "How did you become Nalan Yi just now?" "It's just a little trick to disguise yourself." Su Yang smiled. "Disguise? I often see Nalan Yi, but I don't even recognize him. I thought it was really him. It's amazing." Li Feixuan was very surprised and asked curiously, "By the way, Su Yang, weren't we walking in the park? Why are we here?" "This matter is more complicated to say." Su Yang explained, "It's like this. At that time, I noticed that someone was peeping at me, so I used a small trick to make you fall asleep. Then I fought with that person and found that I couldn't beat him, so I brought him. I hid here because of you. So that's it." After concubine Li heard the announcement, she rolled her eyes at Su Yang again, and then said, "Are you stupid? This place is dozens of miles away from the park where we take a walk. You can run so far. Why don't you go to Su's house and ask Grandpa Su for help? Even if it's okay to go to Li's house, my grandfather is also very strong. If you go to the wilderness so stupidly, doesn't it give that person a chance to kill you?" Su Yang has considered this issue. If he went to the Su family manor, Nalan Zu would be afraid of his grandfather Sukinkan and would definitely not chase him. In this way, he would miss the opportunity to kill Nalan Zu. And Nalan Zu, knowing his own strength, must not let him live. Therefore, Su Yang deliberately came to Dongshan Forest, concluding that Nalan Zu would follow, and he could hide and refine the evil spirit, improve his strength, and then easily kill Nalan Zu. Things developed just as he expected. He successfully advanced to the third level of Qi training and killed Nalan Zu. "Is he the one you said was spying on you?" At this moment, after concubine Li complained about Su Yang, her eyes fell on Nalan Zu's body, and she was immediately shocked. "Na. Nalan Zu? Do you know him?" Su Yang asked with a smile. "Well, Nalan Zu is hunched over, he is a master of martial arts," Li Feixuan responded. "In Jiangbei, he is as famous as Grandpa Su." "What a master, he is vulnerable and has been killed by me," Su Yang said calmly. In front of Li Feixuan, he did not choose to hide it. Kill, you killed Nalan Zu." Concubine Li was extremely shocked. After confirming that Nalan Zu was really dead, she looked at Su Yang with a horrified face. There was shock in her eyes, but more of curiosity and appreciation. This man is so mysterious. He has been hiding for many years and has been silent for a long time. He suddenly became a blockbuster. His strength is terrifying and unpredictable. I have a small grudge against the Nalan family. I can resolve it. I won't tell you more about the details." At this time, Su Yang smiled and said softly, "Honey, we have been here for a day and a night, it's time to go home." "Okay." Li Feixuan nodded lightly. Although she had doubts in her heart, she did not ask further questions. Again, she is a smart woman who knows what's appropriate. If Su Yang doesn't take the initiative to speak, there is no point in asking. Now, Li Feixuan's affection for Su Yang has reached more than 80 years. Maybe marrying Su Yang will be a good choice in the future. This man is strong, unassuming, and steady in his work. Although he is occasionally a bit tongue-tied, he is just joking. The key is that he is very good to himself. Honey, it's hard to walk at night, I'll carry you back at this time, Su Yang said with a smile. No, no need, I can do it myself. With that said, Li Feixuan took 2 steps with a blushing face. As a result, she accidentally stepped on gravel, twisted her foot, and almost fell, but was supported by Su Yang. Look, I just said that the road is not easy to walk, so let me carry you. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang directly carried Li Feixiantong on his back and left regardless of whether she agreed or not. Su Yang, I haven't agreed to marry you yet. Let me go. If others see you like this, it will have a bad impact. Li Feixuan struggled a few times, but to no avail, then gave up and lay obediently on Su Yang's back. Tonight, the moonlight is like water. The woods in Dongshan are exceptionally quiet, with the evening breeze carrying a hint of coolness and rustling the leaves. The years are quiet and the time is not dry. Li Feixuan had dreamed of the scene countless times, but she never thought that the person carrying her would be young Master Su, the most handsome man in Jiangbei. But it seemed that she wouldn't be able to accept it if it were anyone else. Li Feixuan's beautiful face was flushed, and her cheek was pressed tightly against Su Yang's back. When she smelled the other person's scent, her heart was agitated. All of this seemed to be arranged by God, it was so beautiful. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 86. Su Yang was carrying Li Feixuan home. On the way, he originally thought about being addicted to the first hand. Unfortunately, he gave up the idea after being pinched by Li Feixuan a few times. Next, Su Yang carried Li Feixuan on his back, shuttled through the dark night, and went straight to the Su family manor. When Su Yang was avoiding Nalanzu, he was afraid that the ringtone of his cell phone would attract Nalanzu's attention, so he turned off his own cell phone and Li Feixuan's cell phone. After dealing with Nalanzu, he restarted his phone, and Li Feixuan did the same. As soon as he turned on the phone, Su Yang received a call from Su Shenbing. He stopped and asked, "Dad, do you have anything to do with me?" "You brat, what are you doing? Is the eldest lady of the Li family with you?" Su Shenbing asked on the phone. Su Yang did not deny it and continued, "I'm taking concubine Xian out for a few days. Don't worry, there won't be any danger. We'll be home soon. Don't worry, you know how to cause trouble for me, and my grandpa is here." Su Shenbing gritted his teeth and said, "Come back quickly, we will wait for you at the manor." With that said, Su Shenbing hung up the phone. Then, Li Feixuan's cell phone rang. "Grandpa, Su Yang and I are together, don't worry about me," Li Feixuan said obediently. "It's just because you're with him that I'm worried." "Fei Xian, you don't know who Su Yang is, right? Come back quickly, your father and I will wait for you at the Su family manor," Li Chunfeng urged. "Okay." Li Feixuan hung up the phone, and then whispered, "Su Yang, my grandfather called." Su Yang carried Li Feixuan on his back and smiled softly, "I heard it all. It seems that your grandfather has a lot of opinions on me." "Su Yang, he doesn't know you, that's why he said this. If he knew that you have been patient for many years and have great martial arts skills, he would definitely appreciate you," Li Feixuan explained. "I understand, but, wife, don't tell your grandpa these things for the time being." Su Yang warned, "Our Su family still has a very strong enemy. I am not strong enough and I don't want to attract attention prematurely." Li Feixuan nodded as if understanding, and said seriously, "I won't tell anyone. If they ask where we went, I will say we traveled to Jiangnan." "Haha, my wife is really obedient and smart," Su Yang said with a smile, I really want to push you to the ground and kiss you hard. Bah, you bastard, stop talking nonsense and go back quickly. My grandfather and the others are still waiting at the manor. All right. Su Yang nodded, and then continued to run toward the manor with Li Feixuan on his back. As for Li Feixuan, seeing that Su Yang did not continue the topic, there was a hint of disappointment in her eyes, as if she was expecting Su Yang to push her to the ground. After thinking about it, Li Feixuan had a picture in her mind. Her jade face was hot, like a ripe peach, which made people want to take a bite. Half an hour later. Su family manor. Su Qincan, Su Shenbing, and his son, as well as Li Chunfeng and Li Kuowu, all stood outside the manor, eagerly waiting for Su Yang and Li Feixuan to appear. Last night, when Su Yang and Li Fei just disappeared, the two families didn't pay much attention to them. They thought the young people were playful and probably went out to play together. Although Li Chunfeng didn't want his granddaughter to have close contact with Su Yang, the two families had an engagement after all, and they had already gone out for a walk, so it was hard for him to fall out with the Su family. That's why Li Chunfeng felt free to drink heavily at Su's house. But until the next day, neither Su Yang nor Li Feixuan came back, and the Su and Li families began to panic. Su Qincan quickly ordered Su Shenbing to use all the strength of the Su family to search for the two Su Yangs. Unfortunately, there was no news, making Su Shenbing and his son extremely anxious. As for the Li family, they were even more anxious. Li Chunfen's face was always dark. Li Feixuan and Su Yang had been away all night, and Li Chunfen was worried that something bad had happened to the two of them. In addition, there is another possibility that Su Yang and the two are not in danger. But since there was no danger, why did he lose contact for a whole day and night? What did the two of them do? A man and a woman alone, both in their prime. Do you need to ask what to do? You can think of it with your toes. You must have rented a room, and you can play 24 hours a day. When he thought of this, Li Chunfeng gritted his teeth angrily. His own granddaughter is a powerful figure in the country, well educated, and is the jewel of one of the most wealthy families in Jiangbei. But what about Su Yang? He has no knowledge and no skills, and he has no ambition to make progress. He spends his whole day in ecstasy and indulges in sexual pleasure. How could such a man be worthy of his precious granddaughter? Li Chunfeng was really not kidding. He had wanted to terminate his engagement with the Su family a long time ago. But at that time, Su Yang's mother had just passed away, which was hard enough. Li Chunfeng also watched Su Yang grow up, and Su Yang used to call him Grandpa Li. Li Chunfeng was afraid that breaking off the engagement would cause a second blow to Su Yang, and he didn't want to ruin his friendship with the Su family, so he gave up the idea of breaking off the engagement. Even if Su Yang slept with Li Feixuan's best friend, even if Su Yang took Li Feixuan as a bet, Li Chunfeng would not be angry. On the contrary, it was just what he wanted. Because Li Chunfeng could tell that his granddaughter used to like Su Yang. At that time, Su Yang was really good. Although he had no talent, he was humble, polite, and did not act recklessly. But now Su Yang seems to be a different person. Li Chunfeng felt that the worse Su Yang was, the better, so that Li Feixuan would hate him. When the time comes, he would propose to break off the engagement, and Li Feixuan would not be sad. Li Chunfeng was actually quite relieved when he learned last night that his precious granddaughter was walking on the road with Su Yang. First of all, he understood young Master Su and concluded that no matter how bastard young Master Su was, he would not force concubine Li to declare. Secondly, he also believed that his granddaughter would never hand over her innocence to a playboy. Therefore, Li Chunfeng was not too anxious. But these two people stayed away all night, and there was no news the next day. Li Chunfeng was naturally anxious. Su Beidu, you'd better pray that my granddaughter is safe and sound. If your grandson touches her hair, don't blame me for turning against her. At this time, Li Chunfeng said with a gloomy face and gritted his teeth. When Sukyankan heard this, he said protectively, Li Zaimao, I don't like hearing what you say. Is my grandson so unbearable in your eyes? Humph, Su Yang has been full of misdeeds over the years, staying in high-end clubs all day long. You know what he is like better than anyone else, Li Chunfeng gritted his teeth. Li Zaimao, no matter how unbearable my grandson is, it's not your turn to judge. Sukyankan was about to get angry, but Su Shenbing beside him quickly stopped him and said, Father, we are all from our own family, please stop saying a few words. Immediately afterwards, Su Shenbing looked at Li Chunfeng and promised, Master Li, don't worry. I understand that boy Su Yang, and I promise you that he will definitely not hurt concubine Xian. Hey, Grandpa and Dad are all waiting here. It's so grand. At this moment, Su Yang and Li Feichuan walked into everyone's sight. It is worth mentioning that Li Feichuan felt that it would be bad for her family to see Su Yang carrying her on his back, so when they got close to the Su family manor, she asked Su Yang to put her down. Li Feichuan sprained her foot just now and has not recovered yet. She is walking with a limp. She has been in a coma for 24 hours and her face is a little pale. Li Chunfeng was furious when he saw this scene. What happened on this day and night? Why did my granddaughter become like this? She can't even walk anymore, and she's still so haggard. Could it be that Su Yang has given her? Su Yang. Thinking of this, Li Chunfeng became furious and stared at Su Yang resentfully, as if he wanted to eat someone. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 87. Angry. The granddaughter whom he values most, whom he loved dearly since childhood, was given up by a dandy young man. Seeing his granddaughter's face pale and unable to walk properly, Li Chunfeng stared at Su Yang fiercely, with the intention of killing someone. Li. Master Li, if we have something to say, let's talk it over. Don't be so impulsive. It will be bad for your health if you get angry. When Su Shenbing saw Li Feichuan's appearance, he thought something had happened to Su Yang and her. He lost his confidence and hurriedly comforted Li Chunfeng. Li Chunfeng ignored Su Shenbing, stared at Su Yang angrily, and said in a deep voice, Su Yang, you usually play around with messy women, but you dare to attack concubine Xian, who gave you the courage? Start. What's the meaning? Su Yang paused, then came to his senses and said at a loss of whether to laugh or cry, Grandpa Li, if I say that Feichuan's foot was accidentally twisted, would you believe it? Shut up, why are you so careless? Can't you be gentler? Fuck you, I've been led astray by you. Li Chunfeng gritted his teeth and said, Su Yang, you have ruined my granddaughter's innocence. Tell me what you are going to do. This. Seeing this, Su Yang was too lazy to explain, and smiled softly, Grandpa Li, don't worry, I will be responsible. How about you choose a time to arrange the marriage between me and Feichuan? You. Su Yang, you want to eat swan meat and marry a concubine? Are you dreaming? Li Chunfeng was about to vomit blood from anger, his eyes filled with anger. Li Zaimao, what the hell are you talking about? Who is the toad? Hearing this, Sukyankan couldn't help it and replied, although my grandson eats, drinks, whores and gambles, even though he is uneducated and has no skills, even though he has accomplished nothing, damn it, what a piece of rubbish, I can't even find the words to praise him. Sukyankan muttered the second half of the sentence in a low voice, then continued, anyway, he is more than enough for your granddaughter. Su Yang next to him was a little confused. He always felt that what his grandfather said was not good, but he didn't know what was wrong. Besides, at this time, Sukyankan continued, look at your granddaughter, she is willing to come back with Su Yang. How harmonious the two of them get along with each other, it shows that they are consensual. They don't care about the two lives for the rest of their lives. You are the third party senior, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you marry me Su Yang or your granddaughter marry Su Yang, free love is popular nowadays, old antique, do you understand free love? Subaidu, what are you talking nonsense about? How could my granddaughter voluntarily follow Su Yang? Li Chunfeng became angry and was about to retort. But at this time, Li Feichuan grabbed Li Chunfeng and whispered, "Grandpa, stop arguing, nothing happened between me and Su Yang." "Feichuan, don't lie to Grandpa. Grandpa has been through this and understands everything." Li Chunfeng gritted his teeth and said, "You have become like this. How could nothing happen?" "Feichuan, Feichuan, you are too impulsive. People like Su Yang are not worthy of you." "Grandpa, I really didn't do that kind of thing with Su Yang. I just went to Jiangnan for 2 days. Forget it, I won't explain it." Li Feichuan was helpless, and then said, "Even if I did it voluntarily. It has nothing to do with Su Yang. If you want to hit him, hit me first." Li Feichuan knew about Su Yang's strength. If Grandpa breaks up with Su Yang, there will definitely be 2 results. If Su Yang continues to hide his strength, he will be beaten by his grandfather. If Su Yang reveals his strength, it is likely that his grandfather will be beaten. Li Feichuan didn't want to see Su Yang being beaten, nor did she want her grandfather to be beaten, so she tried her best to stop it. "If you don't stay in the female university, Feichuan, you will make Grandpa mad to death," Li Chunfeng said angrily. "Okay Grandpa, Su Yang is actually very good to me. You don't need to worry about my affairs. I can handle them myself." Li Feichuan supported Li Chunfeng and said softly, "It's getting late, Grandpa, let's go home." When Li Chunfeng saw his granddaughter's attitude, he knew that he couldn't teach Su Yang a lesson tonight, so he gritted his teeth and said, "Su Yang, I don't know what sweet words you used to confuse Fei Xian, but you can't even think about marrying Fei Xian. The previous engagement, void immediately." "Grandpa Li, are you serious?" Su Yang smiled playfully. Li Chunfeng's attitude was firm, "Of course. No regrets." "He he." Li Chunfeng sneered and said, "I have never regretted anything I have done in my life. As long as I am still breathing, you can't even think of walking through the door of the Li family." When Su Yang heard this, he smiled softly and said, "Grandpa Li, why do I think you will ask me to come to your house in the future? Impossible, absolutely impossible, I beg you. It's just a dream." "Feichuan, Kuawu, go home." Li Chunfeng glanced at Su Yang disdainfully, and then strode away. "Su Yang, you can't just enter the Li family's door if you want. My fists don't have eyesight." Li Kuawu left a sentence and followed closely. "Su Yang, my grandfather and father are angry." "Don't be angry. I will explain it to them slowly. We have a clear conscience before leaving," Li Feichuan said. "Well, honey, I'm not angry." Su Yang smiled, and then said playfully, "By the way, wife, don't forget to take your medicine when you get home." "I'm not sick, what medicine should I take?" Li Feichuan asked curiously. "It's just birth control pills." Su Yang deliberately said loudly, "Of course, if you are ready to have a child now, you don't need to take medicine. Don't worry, I will be responsible for you to the end and promise to be a qualified father." Before Li Chunfeng had gone far, he stopped immediately when he heard these words. His body was trembling with anger, and then he said sharply, "Fei Xian, go home. I'm going to die, Su Yang. I can't explain it clearly." "What are you talking about?" Li Feichuan's beautiful face turned red. She gave Su Yang an angry look and hurriedly caught up with her grandfather and father. "You have misunderstood. In fact, Su Yang and I." The 3 members of the Li family quickly left. After watching them leave, Su Shenbing looked at Su Yang, then took out his belt and said in a deep voice, "You bastard, look at the good things you have done. If you don't put your house on for 3 days, I will let you know tonight what a father's love is like a mountain. Stop. However, at this time, Sukyankin stopped him. Seeing this, Su Yang hurriedly ran behind his grandfather and sought shelter. Father, this bastard is going to die without being taught a lesson. He even dares to play with Li Fixuan, he is so courageous. Su Shenbing was furious and wanted to beat Su Yang with his belt. I told you to stop and put down the belt. He has been a dandy for so many years. What's the use of beating him with the belt? Sukyankin said coldly. Cool. Grandpa is so cool. When Su Yang heard his grandfather's words, he was almost moved to tears. They said they were married every other generation, and it was true. Grandpa still loved him. But at this moment, Sukyankin pulled out a soft sword from his waist, glowing with a cold light under the moonlight, and then repeated in a low voice. It's useless to hit with a belt. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 88. Is the belt useless? So Grandpa drew out the soft sword? Su Yang suddenly had a black line on his face. If a father's love is like a mountain, then a grandfather's love is like a landslide. How can a grandfather instigate his son to beat his grandson with a soft sword? What about family ties? Family ties where blood is thicker than water have disappeared, right? Certainly. Sukyankin was just trying to scare Su Yang. He would definitely not use his sword against Su Yang. After calming down, he couldn't help but praise Su Yang. Su Yang, you spend your whole day drinking and doing unreasonable things, but you did a great job sleeping with Li Fixuan. Returning to the manor hall, Sukyankin said with a satisfied smile, Li Fixuan is a girl I have watched since she was a child. She is well educated and sensible, not to mention her appearance. She is the most beautiful girl in the country. There is no second one in Jiangbei. That's why I went to the Li family to propose marriage a long time ago and made an engagement for you too. But in recent years, that old bastard Li Chunfeng seemed to have the idea of breaking off the engagement, but he was worried about the friendship between the two families and was too embarrassed to follow me. Open your mouth. Sukyankin said proudly, it's better now. You and her are ready to cook. It's too late for Li Zaimao to break off the engagement, haha. Seeing that his grandfather was so happy, Su Yang stopped blaming himself and gave no explanation. At this time, Su Shenbing beside him couldn't help but said, Su Yang, your behavior is remarkable, but concubine Xian is a good girl, don't you know how to show mercy to her? Look at you torturing her, no wonder the head of the Li family is angry, don't do this next time, you have to learn to restrain yourself and don't run rampant like in a high-end club. Fixuan is different from those messy technicians, I say this, do you understand? Su Yang touched the bridge of his nose and smiled softly, I know, Dad. Su Shenbing nodded, his face slightly red. He didn't want to say this at first, he was embarrassed. However, he didn't remind her because he was afraid that Su Yang would not know the importance of it. If concubine Li showed signs of becoming even more haggard next time, Mr. Li would definitely get angry. Su Yang, I will facilitate your marriage to Fixuan as soon as possible. Fixuan is a good girl. You should not go to the club in the future and treat her well, otherwise don't blame Grandpa for being rude, Sukyankin said seriously. Don't worry, Grandpa, Fixuan is my wife, I will definitely treat him well, Su Yang promised. Sukyankin nodded, and then reminded, don't go out alone in the past few days. I got news that Lu Fankin from Country D is in Jiangbei. He is a master. I don't know what you are doing in Jiangbei. In short, you can just go to class as you should, don't cause trouble. Su Yang naturally knew that Lu Fankin's purpose was nothing more than to cause trouble for the Nalan family, and this was his masterpiece. However, Su Yang pretended not to know and nodded in agreement, okay, I will call Guoyi when I go out and ask him to protect me secretly. Well, it's getting late. You should go back and rest. Sukyankin dismissed. After Su Yang said good night to his grandfather and father, he returned to his room. I overestimated the effect of evil spirit. Now I am still far away from the fourth level of Qi training. Su Yang sat cross-legged and murmured, you need to refine at least 50 low-grade spiritual stones before you can advance to the fourth level. 50 low-grade spiritual stones are as difficult to reach on earth as they are in heaven. It seems that I will take time to go to the Jimin black market again tomorrow. Su Yang suddenly remembered that the guards of Jimin black market had said that their superiors seemed to want to win over him. Su Yang also made it clear that he needed energy stones and wanted to win over, so he brought the energy stones to him. He didn't know how many energy stones the top management of Jimin black market would prepare. If there were enough energy stones, Su Yang wouldn't mind arguing with them, since there would be no loss anyway. For Su Yang now, the most important thing is to practice and become stronger in order to cope with the crisis of the Su family. He already regards himself as the Su family, he is the eldest son Su, and the eldest son Su is him. Naturally, he cannot watch the Su family being destroyed by a powerful enemy. There is another thing that young Master Su actually knows very well, that is, his mother was killed by someone, but young Master Su doesn't know who the enemy is. Now that Su Yang has taken over this body, he has the obligation to avenge his mother. But now, Su Yang didn't know who the murderer was, and he didn't ask Su Shenbing because of his strength. There are several martial arts masters in the small Jiangbei. It can be seen that the masters are not that powerful. They can beat a master of Nalanzu's level, but they are still not enough. Asking who the murderer is useless. Su Yang thought clearly. He will develop slowly and then he will have the ability to kill the murderer. Otherwise, everything will be nonsense. With this thought in his mind, Su Yang slowly closed his eyes and soon entered a state of cultivation. He just stepped into the third level of Qi training tonight and needs to consolidate his realm. At this moment, near Bauhinia University, Junction Hotel. Hateful. Damn Nalanzu, how dare you challenge me, you bastard. In the exquisite suite, Lu Fangchen finished his meditation and saw the text message sent by Nalanzu, and he was immediately furious. Team leader, what's wrong? Du Ziming next to him asked curiously. Lu Fangchen threw the phone to Du Ziming and said in a deep voice, see for yourself. Du Ziming took the phone, his expression instantly turned ugly, and he gritted his teeth and said, sever ties with country D and swear allegiance to China to the death, this is declaring war on our country D. Team leader, we must not spare the Nalan family lightly. Lu Fangchen narrowed his eyes slightly and said in a cold voice, didn't Nalan Ziu say in his text message that if we get involved in the territory of China, his good son of the Nalan family will fight with us to death, even if he sheds the last drop of blood, we must protect the territory of China. Since he is so patriotic, then I will help him. When he comes back from the Jimin black market tomorrow, I will join forces with my brother to bloodbath the Nalan family, Lu Fangchen said in a deep voice, his eyes filled with blazing anger. No one has dared to challenge him for a long time. Okay, team leader Yingming. Du Ziming was very excited when he heard that Nalan's family was going to be massacred, and then asked curiously, team leader, your brother Lu Fangkui has long joined the most mysterious organization in our country D. What is it about the Jimin black market that has attracted so many people, his attention? I don't know the specifics. There will be an auction tomorrow at Jimin black market. What my brother wants is one of the auction items. Lu Fangchen sneered and said, however, when we D countrymen come to Jiangbei, we always rob openly. How can we spend money to buy things? This time my brother came alone, so he asked me to bring someone to help. Of course, we can't afford to offend the Jimin black market, but whoever took the photo of that thing will probably be in bad luck, haha, Lu Fangchen said with a sinister smile. I see. Du Ziming nodded as if he understood, and said with a playful smile, after taking away that thing, With you and your brother as two martial arts masters, it will be easy to bloodbath the Nalan family. That's right, the Nalan family, just wait and bear my wrath. Lu Fangchen had a gloomy face and his eyes were terrifyingly cold. As everyone knows, at the same time, the Nalan family is also full of resentment towards him. Because after Nalan Yi received the text message from Grandpa, he was worried about his safety, so he used technical means to locate Nalan Ziu's mobile phone number, and led all the masters of the Nalan family to the Dongshan forest. At this moment, Nalan Yi just discovered Nalan Ziu Lanzu's body. Grandfather! Nalan Yi fell to his knees on the ground, crying bitterly, then gritted his teeth and said, Lu Fangchen, my Nalan family and you are at odds with each other. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 89. The reason why the Nalan family is one of the four major families is because Nalan Ziu is in charge. It is no exaggeration to say that without Nalan Ziu, the Nalan family would be nothing. At this moment, many Nalan family masters at the scene looked at each other in shock when they saw Nalan Ziu's body. Second brother. At this time, Nalan Mingj, who was standing next to him, looked at Nalan Yi and said, the cause of Grandpa's death cannot be determined yet. Don't blame Lu Fangchen for Grandpa's death. The top priority is to let Grandpa bury him in peace. Why can't I be sure? Grandpa sent me a text message, saying that Lu Fangchen from Country D was eyeing him. He also said that if he died, it would be Lu Fangchen who killed him. Nalan Yi burst into tears and gritted his teeth and said, Grandpa's body is lying here now. The murderer must be Lu Fangchen. Nalan Mingj, why do you want to exonerate Lu Fangchen? Is there any collusion between you two? As soon as these words came out, Nalan Mingj frowned slightly and said calmly, Second brother, don't slander me. I just said that there is no evidence, and I did not excuse Lu Fangchen. The text message is the proof. Nalan Yi looked firmly and said, you also saw the text message that Grandpa sent me. I will definitely avenge Grandpa and let Lu Fangchen pay for it with blood. Cough. Nalan Mingj coughed up a mouthful of blood, and then said calmly, Second brother, Lu Fangchen's strength is unfathomable. Even Grandpa is no match for him. How are you going to take revenge? Notify Grandma. Nalan Yi said seriously, our Nalan family is based in Kyoto. Grandpa and Grandma had conflicts, so Grandpa took us to Jiangbei to establish the family business. But he and Grandma are husband and wife after all. Now that Grandpa is dead, what grudges are there? They have all disappeared, and Grandma will definitely come to Jiangbei to avenge Grandpa. What about Grandpa's body? It's never been buried, Nalan Mingj asked with a frown. The great revenge has not been avenged. Even if he is buried in the grave, Grandpa still cannot rest in peace. Nalan Yi responded, when I kill Lu Fangchen, I will bury my grandfather in glory. After hearing this, Nalan Mingj was silent for a moment, then said calmly, Second brother, the eldest brother has joined the ancient martial arts sect and has been away from Jiangbei all year round. Now that Grandpa has gone again, you are now the head of the Nalan family. I believe you can handle everything. I won't care about what happens next. I will return to the manor to honor my grandpa. Just let me know when there are results. After leaving a few words, Nalan Mingj led his subordinates and left the scene. Before leaving, he squinted his eyes slightly, gave Nalan Yi a meaningful look, and raised an imperceptible smile at the corner of his mouth. Humph, you know what's going on. Seeing Nalan Mingj disappear, Nalan Yi snorted coldly, looking miserable on the surface, but actually he was very excited in his heart. Died. Grandpa is dead. This is great. The eldest brother is not here, so in terms of seniority, he is the person most qualified to take over the Nalan family. From now on, Nalan Yi is the head of the Nalan family, and he doesn't have to be restricted by anyone anymore, which is great. The main reason why he proposed revenge was to ask his grandma to come to Jiangbei to re-establish the status of the Nalan family. Nalan Yi knew quite a lot about grandma. He would go to Kyoto to spend a few days almost every year. Nalan Yi knew about the grievances between his grandfather and his grandmother. It was just that when his grandfather was young, he was caught having sex with women and his grandmother discovered them. Since then, the two of them have not been in contact with each other. However, Nalan Yi was confident to convince her grandma to avenge her grandpa. Grandma is stronger than grandpa. As long as grandma takes action, that Lu Fangchen will definitely die. Of course, there is another reason why Nalan Yi did this, that is, Lu Fangchen misunderstood that he killed the master of country D and took away the Red Lotus sword. This misunderstanding cannot be explained clearly. Now that my grandfather is dead, I will probably be killed by Lu Fangchen. Instead of sitting back and waiting for death, it is better for my grandma to take a preemptive strike and catch Lu Fangchen off guard. So, Nalan Yi immediately dialed her grandma's phone and asked her to come forward. At the same time, he ordered people to block the news and not spread the news about Nalan's murder, so as not to shake the Nalan family's position in Jiangbei. The next day, morning. Su Yang ended his cultivation state and shook his head slightly, not satisfied with his overnight results. The spiritual energy of the earth is too thin. Without energy stones, it is impossible to move even an inch. Su Yang stood up, smiled softly and said, "Go to the Jimen black market today, find out what the guards say, and ask their leader whether they want to win over me." After making up his mind, Su Yang came downstairs, had a quick bite and prepared to go to the black market. But at this time, Su Shenbing appeared and asked, "Little bastard, what are you doing?" "I'm going to school." Su Yang said seriously, "Dad, you don't know, if I don't study for a few days, I feel so weak that I feel very uncomfortable." "You brat, are you telling the truth?" Su Shenbing said with a dark face, "Based on what I know about you, you go to a high-end club to learn new postures, right?" "Damn it, Dad, how can you think of me like this? My biggest hobby in this life is learning. I like swimming in the ocean of knowledge the most. Textbooks are the ladder of progress for me and the food for my spirit." Su Yang wanted to continue talking, but Su Shenbing interrupted impatiently, "Okay, shut up. You've been doing nothing all day long and don't want to make progress. I'm too lazy to care about you. However, today is Teacher's Day. You'd better go to school and meet Divine Dr. Hua. After all, it was he who introduced you to Bauhinia University, and he is considered half of your teacher. It is beneficial to have a good relationship with him." Su Shenbing said seriously. "Okay." Su Yang nodded in agreement, "Dad, don't worry, I have a very good relationship with Divine Dr. Hua. Well, since it's Teacher's Day, it's not a good idea to go empty-handed. I'll ask Guoyi to prepare a gift. You can go to school together. Guoyi can protect you secretly." As he said that, Su Shenbing glanced at Su Yang disdainfully and said disdainfully, "Trash, when will we stop letting people worry about you?" Su Yang was a little unhappy being complained about by his father all the time, so he started to fight back and said with a meaningful smile, "Dad, you should also say hello to your teachers on Teacher's Day. Do you still need to teach them? I called them early in the morning to say hello and made an appointment to have dinner with them when they are free." Su Shenbing sighed and said, "Hey, decades have passed in a blink of an eye, and the teachers who taught me at the beginning have all turned gray. Time makes people grow old. Dad." Su Shenbing was thinking about it, but Su Yang smiled playfully and said, "I'm not talking about the teacher who taught you how to read, but the one who studied and studied by yourself in the dead of night. For example, Teacher Kong Kong, Teacher Zayas, Teacher Yui, Teacher Songdao. These teachers work tirelessly to accompany you over and over again. It's Teacher's Day, so you have to be grateful no matter what, Su Yang said with a playful smile. Su Shenbing paused, his face turned red, and after he reacted, he stared at Su Yang angrily. Bunny, you want to experience the deep love of a father, don't you? Get out of here. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 90. Seeing his father getting angry, Su Yang wisely ran out of the living room and came to the manor garage. Su Jinghan likes cars and has bought all kinds of cars, including sports cars and SUVs. Plus Su Shenbing and young Master Su, there are at least 20 luxury cars in the garage. Su Yang chose a red Ferrari and left the Su family manor. As for Guo Yi, he ostensibly took on the task of secretly protecting Su Yang, but he just found a place to rest. Because he knew that the eldest young master was very strong and did not need his own protection at all. After leaving the Su family manor, Su Yang was about to go to the Jimin black market, but he received a call from Wang Fugui. Young Master Su, I'm so miserable. You must help me with something. After the matter is completed, I will let you fight for free, Wang Fugui cried when the call was connected. Su Yang said with a dark face, get out of here, who wants to quarrel with you? Just tell me something. I can't tell you in a sentence or two. Where are you? Let's meet and talk. Wang Fugui sobbed twice, and then said pitifully, I haven't seen you for a few days, young Master Su. I miss you so much. I can't eat well every day. Even if I spend money in the club, I can't help but miss you. Close your anus. Su Yang was very speechless, and then asked, give me your location, and I will go find you. Yeah, I'm at Bauhinia University, Wang Fugui responded quickly. Okay, I'll be there soon. Su Yang agreed, then put away his cell phone and drove his Ferrari straight to Bauhinia University. Su Yang has feelings for Wang Fugui. Of course, it's not that kind of affection, but pure brotherhood. Wang Fugui may seem like an inconspicuous guy, but he is a true brother if he dares to take action when something goes wrong. Although Wang Fugui has no abilities and a lot of shortcomings, his heart is more important than anything else. Therefore, when Wang Fugui asked him for help, Su Yang would naturally not refuse. Not long after, Su Yang drove to Bauhinia University and saw Wang Fugui at the school gate. Damn it, who is that person walking out of the car? He's so handsome that it blinds my 24K gold eyes. I'm willing to call you the handsome guy I don't see in 5,000 years. Wang Fugui also saw Su Yang, pretending to be shocked and flattering him. His expression looked surprised, and his acting skills had obviously improved. Piss off. Su Yang rolled his eyes at him, and then asked, what happened? Tell me. Young Master Su. Wang Fugui did not hide anything and said aggrievedly, damn it, I was expelled from the original school. Su Yang asked in confusion, what's going on? You are the eldest son of the Wang family after all. How can such a good school expel you? It's not you who caused it? Wang Fugui looked at Su Yang complainingly, and then said, yesterday, our school had a new project, and an old dormitory building was to be demolished, so 2 bulldozers were brought in. I happened to pass by the bulldozer and looked at the bulldozer twice. Then I was expelled. The principal said I was dangerous. Wang Fugui gritted his teeth and said, damn it, I obviously didn't do anything. Just look at the bulldozer and see what happened. As for firing me, I'm so angry. The expulsion notice will be sent out in 2 days. If my father knows that I have been expelled from school, then don't even think about my butt. He will definitely beat me to pieces. As he spoke, Wang Fugui approached Su Yang and winked, young Master Su, I can't save my butt anyway. Instead of letting my dad beat me, I'd rather make you feel comfortable. I will cooperate with you. Hey, don't make such slanderous remarks to me. I've said it before, Don't do this. Su Yang naturally knew that Wang Fuegui was joking, so he kicked him with a smile, and then said, "Your problem is easy to solve. Just contact another school. Even if your father knows that you have been expelled, he will not. You will get angry. After all, you still have school to go to. Haha, you are indeed my good brother. We want to go together." Wang Fuegui patted his butt and said, "Because the university I am attending now is a key university. If I want to satisfy my dad, I must find a better university. Bauhinia University is quite suitable." "Young Master Su, how did you get into Bauhinia University? Is there any way to get me in?" Wang Fuegui looked full of hope. "No problem, it's a piece of cake," Su Yang said with a smile. "Damn it, it's true, young Master Su. I've asked many people, and I've also tried to give money to the leaders, but to no avail. Can you really get me in?" Wang Fuegui was slightly excited. "Well, I'll call you to make arrangements." Su Yang smiled, and then dialed Hua Shimiao's phone number in front of Wang Fuegui. "Master," Hua Shimiao's respectful voice suddenly came from the other side of the phone. Su Yang nodded and said, "Well, there's something I want to ask you for help with." "Master, please speak." "I have a friend named Wang Fuegui. He is the eldest son of the Wang family in Jiangbei. He wants to enter Bauhinia University." "Understood, I'll make arrangements right away." Hua Shimiao didn't hesitate at all, and then asked, "By the way, Master, what major does he want to study?" Su Yang took away his phone, looked at Wang Fuegui next to him, and asked, "Young Master Wang, do you have a major you want to study?" "Broadcasting, I want to go to the broadcasting department," Wang Fuegui said excitedly, as if he had already thought about it. Su Yang put the phone to his ear and said, "Sign him up for the broadcasting department." "Yes." Hua Shimiao responded respectfully, his tone full of awe. "Well, let's put it this way first." Su Yang hung up the phone, then looked at Wang Fuegui curiously, and said doubtfully, "The arrangements have been made, but I'm just curious, Mr. Wang, why do you suddenly want to learn broadcasting?" "Ha ha ha." Wang Fuegui was overjoyed when he heard that the matter was done, and then said truthfully, "Young Master Su, I have fallen in love with a female anchor in the past 2 days. She is from the broadcasting department of Bauhinia University. So you tried every means to come to Bauhinia University. Is it a lie that you were expelled from your original school?" Su Yang frowned. "He, I really can't hide it from young Master Su," Wang Fuegui said with an embarrassed smile. "Fuck you, you dare to lie to me." Su Yang raised his leg and kicked it, and then asked curiously, "Who is the female anchor? Is she beautiful?" "Her name is Xiao Tian. I don't know if she's pretty or not. I haven't met her yet. She's a voice actress and anchor. She never shows her face, but her voice is really nice, soft, and waxy. Impacting my soul." As he said that, Wang Fuegui suddenly looked at Su Yang warily and said warily, "Damn it, Mr. Su, don't rob me. Xiao Tian is different from other women. I am serious about her. You can't be evil to your younger siblings." "Go away, am I that kind of person?" Su Yang said with a dark face. Wang Fuegui met Su Yang's gaze and nodded solemnly.